guys, it's me, Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages almost 4, 8, and 11, and today I am going to share with you a little bit of what is changing mid-year in our homeschool. So the reality is that if you have followed our journey, we started out as a more eclectic traditional style, and over the course of the year we've been moving more toward a unit study style homeschool. So a lot has been changing, and I think it's normal for us at the halfway year mark to kind of look at all the things we've been doing, look at our resources, look at how the year's been going, see what's going well, what needs to change, and all of that. And there are definitely some changes that are taking place in our homeschool. So I don't have a lot to show you of physical stuff because so much of the resources that we're using now are on the computer, but I will definitely be putting links below, and I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what we're doing. So one of the first things that's changing is our science curriculum. So you guys know that we are big fans of God's Design science series as well as the Real Science for Kids series. But we are actually in our unit study mode are moving away from traditional science curriculum really much at all. So while we might still pull some from those, I was using God's Design a lot, but the reality is we've been using that same program as our basis for a while, and the kids are kind of getting sick of the format. They're getting to the point where I'm just completely losing them when I read from the book, and it's become more of a formality. And in my book, when you have a subject that has become a formality where it's just something you check off the box but there's no engagement, there's not a lot of retention, then it's time to either switch your approach to the curriculum that you already have or to look at switching to a new curriculum. At least with my kids in our situation. So we're moving to using more living books, more things like the Usborne Science Encyclopedia, based on whatever topic or subject we're doing, things that are more honed into that particular subject or that particular thing. So it's really, there's not like one science thing that we're using, but we're kind of moving to using more I don't want to call them living books because some of them are definitely nonfiction encyclopedia type books, but just changing things up that fit more with whatever it is that we're learning at the time. And with history, we're making a fairly substantial change too. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with America's Story. We still really love America's Story. We still love the way that it's written, and we still might read some from it. But the problem that I've been having with unit studies is I am getting burned out. Finding all the resources, creating everything from scratch, just the tremendous amount of work that goes into it. And with America's Story, while we love the way that it's written, there's really nothing else there for us. Like, that is all that I have, and I'm having to build a ton out from that. So I was looking for a resource that had more with it. So I'm kind of switching more to using Winter Promise as a base for that. Now, Winter Promise is I don't really want to call it, it's not really a literature-based curriculum. It's not really a unit study-based curriculum, but it's kind of got a lot of, I don't know, it's a very hands-on curriculum, and it's geared to family-style learning. So when you can pick each of their units of study, which we're pulling from America's Story 2, I think is what they call it. But there's a ton of different options, and each one has like an age range. So it might be 4th grade to 8th grade, or it might be 2nd grade to 3rd grade, or anything in between. And so you pick an option, and it ties in all of your subjects into what you're learning, except for math. And it really pulls everything together super well. And there is way more there than anybody could possibly do. They have all kinds of journaling, like they have different interactive journal activities, they have hands-on projects, they have loads of stuff. And so for me, they also have books that they recommend and all kinds of stuff. So for me, using that as a starting place instead of America's Story by Master Books, I have so much more out the gates that I can use. And so there's that much less planning and tweaking and things that I have to do. I'm still building different unit studies based on it, and I'm still tweaking things and making them my own. I think I'm always going to do that with any resource at all, but it's giving me a lot more to start with. So it's a lot less pressure, a lot less work. I have that much less ahead prep that I have to do, and just making that switch mentally, even though we haven't put any of it into practice so far, I think it's going to be good. So that's that. With math, I'm still doing math lessons for living education with Timothy. That is still working super well. With Samuel, I am doing math on the level. I know that you guys have wanted a review on that, and I know I keep telling you it's coming. I still feel like I am not quite ready to do a review on that yet because I'm still figuring it out. I'm still kind of wrapping my brain around it all. It's working way better than anything that we have used, but I still don't feel quite ready to give a full review on that, if that makes sense. I feel like I need to use it a little bit more, but hopefully that will be coming soon. But it is working well, and we are tying stuff into unit studies as much as possible, whenever possible, but sometimes it doesn't tie in, and that's okay, but that's working pretty well. Also, instead of Samuel doing some additional math on Adventure Academy, he's mastered a lot of the math on there already. So for his twice a week math time on the computer, I have him doing Dreambox, which is definitely more challenging. But I think that it's going to help stretch him some, which is really good. We are, let's see, as far as language arts goes, there's lots of changes going on there. So we have had a time with using all about reading, all about spelling. My kids have dyslexia, dysgraphia, those types of things spread out among them. There's ADHD in the mix and all kinds of things, and it's made language arts quite a challenge. So with one of my kids, we were working through all about reading level 1, but we needed to pair that with all about spelling, and since we paired that, he's been doing better. And it's really not a program that's a great fit, but at this point he's put so much time into it, we're just finishing it up. And then I am going to be switching him to Pinwheels level 3 from Rooted in Language. And Rooted in Language is a company that I have found. I actually found it through Brave Writer. And I have been taking courses, I've been taking classes. It's all about strategies. So they do have some early learning to read curriculum available, but everything else is strategies and tools and tips that you can use with struggling learners, readers, writers, anything in language arts, or even not struggling, but strategies and tips and things that you can use with the program that you're already using. So I have been taking a lot of classes, doing a lot of stuff with that. And so we'll be using their Pinwheels program with Timothy here soon. We're going to be starting that. So that's really exciting. And then also, as far as changes for Samuel, we're going to be dropping Grammar Galaxy for everyone, which the kids are not happy with me about. But I realized that Grammar Galaxy was something that we were doing just to tick off a box kind of a deal. It doesn't fit with the rest of our program. It is a great program and the kids love listening to the stories, but it just was not fitting well and was not achieving the goal that I had in our language arts. So we're dropping that, and Timothy is just going to be focusing on his Pinwheels program because it is very comprehensive. It includes everything. And Samuel is going to be doing one of the language art programs that goes with Winter Promise. So they have their leveled language arts programs. They marry them so well. So all of the language arts programs for that level, they match with the different, I don't know, unit studies, but the different, what do I even call them? The different themes that they have. That's what they call them. They're themes. So it's matched with the themes. It's got readers that go with it. It's got, which I don't assign readers, but I can definitely give him those options. But all of the writing activities can match in with it very easily, and it all works together. And I think it's going to be a good fit for him. We'll probably continue to use all about spelling, and I'll kind of weave that in. But I think that's going to be a good transition. This is a program that we had tried before, and the concept behind it is so good. It's written from the point of view of a dog, and I think they're all a little bit different, but they're very, it's like, it's a story form that all of this stuff is tied into. And in this particular one, you're helping the dog do the writing because the dog has all these ideas and the dog has all this, but the dogs can't write. And so he's talking, and it's a conversation with the student, and it's a really, really well done program. So we're going to be transitioning to that. So we'll just be doing that for him and the spelling. And I haven't decided how I'm going to incorporate copywork, because intentional copywork is a huge part of what I'm learning about in Roots Entwined, which is a class from Rooted in Language. And since we have been using some of these strategies and skills, it has made a world of a difference for him. So we still just may do his language arts. You know, I'm going to marry all those together, and I haven't sat down and figured out exactly what it's going to look like, but that is what's going on there. And as far as preschool goes, I'm slowly working my way into doing some preschool with Lily. Right now, with our unit studies, I just try to have some fun activities planned that match the unit studies with her, and I'm trying to transition into making sure that we're doing a little bit of math and a little bit of letter recognition and all of that pre-reading stuff to get her on the right track for that. And that's something that I'm still kind of working on and still kind of transitioning into and figuring out that completely. I will be using some of the lessons from Math on the Level in their foundation level, like their pre-math stuff. Some of those activities I'll be doing with her, and I might be doing some of activities from the very first Pinwheels book with her. Although I want to be careful and not push that too hard, like really slow through that, really slow. And just trying to pick some really fun activities that I can do with her here and there to build her fine motor skills and all that good stuff. As far as Bible goes, we are doing something a little bit different. In fact, let me go get it. So for our family Bible time, we had been reading, I forget what it's called, but it's really popular, the science devotional book. Why can I not remember the name? Irresistible or something like that? I can't remember. But we were reading through that, and before that we had been doing Apologia's series. That was just too heavy for most of the kids, and they were over their heads. So we're not doing that. They really liked the devotional, but we wanted something deeper, and my husband and I really want to start teaching the kids how to study the Bible. So we have this presentation board, dun, 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 and this is not very sophisticated, you guys, but we're going through the book of Matthew together, and so each day we just read a little bit of Matthew. It might be a section, like just a little section some days it's a chapter, just whatever, how long we're engaged with or how much time we have, we just read a little bit. And then I'm usually sitting ready with my sticky notes, and we have these 3 categories. So as we're reading, any questions that anybody has, we can put over here, and those might get answered later and they might not, but they're just questions, things that come up as we read. Any discovery, so anything cool that we found. So like in this case, it says the kids wanted to put that Joseph wanted to quietly divorce Mary. Why would they do that? Like, that was a question, and that was something that we talked about, and just something that was new to them that they felt was important to add to the board, so we did. And then anything that we learn about Jesus, because the Gospels tell us all about Jesus. So anything that they learn or that sticks out to any of us as significant about Jesus, we put it over here. And so this says Jesus would be born to save people from their sins. Jesus would be a shepherd to his people. So we just kind of are going through that. It's kind of a slow process. We're not rushing. We're not trying to do anything special or crazy. So like I said, we just read a little bit and we talk about it and we put things on our board, and hopefully we can fill all that up and discuss it by the end of Matthew. But we're not using any curriculum. That's just what we're doing for Bible. We're still using our history binder very heavily. That's helping us tie history together from all the things that we're learning, and that has been working really well. We're going to continue to doing that. Vocabulary has been going well. I'm not sure how that's going to tie in as we make some of these other language arts transitions. We'll see, but as you can see, things are changing a lot for our homeschool. We're still doing a unit study model, but just where our ideas are coming from, where our spines are, kind of what's happening with that is changing. I'm actually really hopeful because I think that using Winter Promise is going to save a lot of work for me, just because they have so many projects and ideas and activities and so much stuff already there. I think it's going to be really helpful for me. And I think another thing too is we are still doing some literature-based unit studies, but what I can do now is I can take a lot of my planning time and throw it into these literature-based unit studies where there's nothing and I'm completely coming up with everything from scratch. And all of our history studies can be much quicker. I don't have to put as much time and energy in those, and that's just huge relief for me. And it also gives me flexibility because I don't have to be done with the literature-based studies on a certain deadline, because I've got to create all these things and there's going to be a backlog. If I'm not quite ready, then I can just pull the stuff from Winter Promise and quickly put together a unit study and just keep going in our timeline of history. So that has been really good. So those are the changes we've made. I'm going to do my best to link anything that I mentioned below. And if I forget anything or if you have questions about anything, let me know. And like, I do know that you guys want a review of Math on the Level. And I want to get it done so that it's done and that's not hanging over my head, but I don't want to do a review before I can really give you a solid review on it. So I'm still not quite ready for that, but I'm working on it. I haven't forgotten and it will come. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love to know what is changing in your homeschool for this mid-semester, or is it all going well and staying exactly the same? Because that happens too. And I hope that you guys are having a great holiday time, and I will talk to you later. Bye.